AFAM is a coalition of 12 organizations, 7 autism support centers, and 5 advocacy groups. We organized about 10 years ago, and there was a need for advocacy.
The mission is to speak with a united voice up on Beacon Hill to improve the lives of people who have autism spectrum disorder through political advocacy. For a small group, we've done big things.
One of the biggest accomplishments is bringing together 12+ organizations working collectively to make a bigger impact. Everybody is looking at the big picture and moving forward.
We need to be able to speak with that one voice across the spectrum so that everybody across the spectrum gets their needs met. So being able to speak to the capabilities and the potential for people on the spectrum to be contributing members of society is just a huge part.
To have organizations like AFAM that allow all these different families to collectively have their voices heard and to advocate on behalf of all these different folks who really don't have the time to do it themselves. Most people can't be up at the State House every day. They can't be down in Washington, D.C. because they're just so overwhelmed with the huge task of taking care of their kids.
AFAM plays an important role because it brings together a wide breadth of diverse stakeholders so that we can figure out what our shared priorities will be so that we can then mobilize our resources and our constituents. By having AFAM play this important coordinating and strategizing role, it helps to galvanize our limited resources in a way that has a tremendous impact.
The private insurance was a real watershed moment in 2010 because we did not put in age caps, we did not put in dollar caps. So at the time we were the most comprehensive medical insurance coverage for autism in the nation.
Up until 2010, if you had an autism spectrum disorder, your health insurance could say, we don't cover autism, so you couldn't get the help you needed for your health insurance. So that's huge to have that, and I've really seen the landscape change since that came into being.
We get a lot of the testimonies from the families talking directly about the impact it's made in their life. The struggles have diminished quite a bit because they don't have to spend all their time fighting to get the services.
It was amazing to watch how we were able to garner support from families. And that's the advantage that we have as an organization. We were very effective in getting families to call the State House and contacting their legislators, and that has a great impact.
What I'm most proud about is just how quickly we were able to pull together as a group, establish our priorities. The commission report gets released. Barbara L'Italien's just been an incredible champion to make sure that our ideas didn't get lost. And what I think is most exciting to me, and I think what everyone in this room should be proud of tonight, is in less than a year and a half, we went from an idea to a piece of legislation to a law. And frankly, that just doesn't happen very often.
The omnibus autism bill that was also signed looked at a couple of major things. One is teacher training, so sort of raising the floor of teacher training. It also covers mass health coverage for behavior therapy and augmentative and alternative communication devices. We have protection from bullying. This first step with the passage of many of the components and recommendations of the Commission, really proud of as well.
And that's the beauty of AFAM. We're all sort of working together. We've raised awareness, but the next step is then how do you take that awareness and help acquire services and programs that benefit the range of people on the spectrum.
Being part of AFAM has actually moved the organization even further along in helping people with ASD. What came out of our increased involvement with AFAM is a program called Wings for Autism, which is a rehearsal program for kids and adults on the spectrum to practice the airport experience. We've had over 1,000 families come through Logan Airport over the last 4 years to practice that experience. We've offered autism awareness training to the airport personnel, airline personnel, and the TSA. And we're really proud of this program because it has gone national. Developing quality supports and programs for people on the spectrum is one of the 8 priorities of our strategic plan. So organizationally, in a macro way, it's very important to us.
There are many significant barriers that we need to address to make sure that when children exit special education, they really have the services and the options they need to live and work as independently as they can in the community. So we have a lot of work to do.
The kids are going to be around a long time after the parents are, and we need to make the world a better place for people with autism and for their caregivers. Organizations like AFAM are really leading the way in making that happen, and that's why it's so vitally important.
I like to tell families this is our 15 minutes. And that 15 minutes keeps going on and on and on because the prevalence keeps getting greater. So we have to be vocal and we have to advocate and let the legislators on Beacon Hill know what we need and stay on them to get it.
I'm just amazed at all of the members and all of my colleagues. They're just so dedicated and will drop everything to make sure that something gets done. So it's wonderful to see such a great group of people that are dedicated and passionate about making a difference.
People with autism are more like us than they are different from us, and if we can make that, the general acceptance and move from awareness, yes, people are aware, and we have to continue to do awareness, but also help people to begin to accept that people with autism have a lot to give if you give them a chance.
It's exciting all we've accomplished. I've really enjoyed all the work with our partners. We haven't always agreed on everything, but I think we've done a wonderful job pulling together and presenting a united voice on Beacon Hill, and I can't wait to see what the next 10 years holds.